Ever since President Joe Biden's stunning announcement that he will not seek another term and is instead endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris to become the Democratic Party's nominee, rumors have swirled about disarray in the Trump campaign. Joining us now from outside Trump Tower, site of the headquarters of the Trump presidential campaign, is our chief political correspondent to help us sort the fact from the fiction. Congratulations on your promotion from chief White House correspondent. What can you tell us?
Thank you, and since this new job of mine only became available due to the sudden firing of my predecessor, one thing I can tell you is I'm grateful for sexual harassment, and not for the first time in my career either. Everyone at the politics desk had better watch out. There's a new sheriff in town.
I meant, what can you tell us about the campaign?
Right. The overriding emotion I've been getting from my sources within the Trump campaign over the last couple of weeks has been sadness. A sadness rooted in the keen sting of betrayal.
Betrayal by whom?
By President Biden, of course. All these years, President Trump has assumed he would be facing President Biden in a rematch of the 2020 election, only for Biden to callously pull the rug out from under poor, trusting Trump a mere 3.5 months before the election.
It certainly doesn't testify to President Biden's sense of fair play.
Nor to his respect for the electorate, which, like President Trump, has been eagerly anticipating this return bout with President Biden, only to find themselves the victims of a classic bait and switch. It's as though the Democrats are trying to rewrite Rocky III so that after losing the first match to Clubber Lang, Rocky spends the rest of the movie training to fight Clubber again, then learns that, actually, Clubber is dropping out and being replaced by the guy who holds his water bottle.
While that is an apt metaphor for the vice president's constitutional role, presumably the guy who holds the water bottle would be far easier for Rocky to defeat. So in that analogy, isn't the bait and switch a good thing?
Not for the people who bought tickets to see Rocky versus Clubber.
No, I suppose not. The card having been changed, as it were, how is the Trump campaign adjusting its game plan now that the Democrat nominee will not be President Biden and is likely to be Vice President Harris?
My sources within the campaign inform me that President Trump is exploring his options in several areas, including adjusting the campaign's messaging and preparing to pursue aggressive legal action.
We'll get to how they're adjusting their messaging in a moment. What legal action are they considering? Will the campaign be filing suit against the DNC to force them to list Biden on the ballot instead of Harris?
That is one possible route this could take, but according to one senior campaign official who threatened me physically if I used his name, a bolder and potentially more effective direction actually ties back in with the Rocky metaphor.
Oh, good.
As you probably know, in boxing, if a fighter is unable to compete in a scheduled bout, that fighter's opponent is declared the winner by forfeit. The Trump campaign is currently preparing a possible court filing demanding that since Joe Biden, the sitting president of the United States, is unable to compete in the election, that the election should be canceled and the presidency be awarded by forfeit to the challenger, Donald Trump.
It's certainly an unorthodox tactic, but if the court rules in the Trump campaign's favor, wouldn't that establish a precedent that could someday be used by a Democrat to win the White House by forfeit, if a Republican incumbent is unable to run for re-election?
I'm sure they'll think of something.
What about these adjustments to the Trump campaign's messaging?
That is also taking multiple forms. First and foremost, a small army of campaign volunteers is busy, even as we speak, carrying out search and replace functions in all outgoing campaign literature to change all references to Joe Biden to Kamala Harris. Besides that, the campaign is currently planning a new series of ads to highlight Harris's history of championing extremist far-left policies, such as instituting universal health care, raising taxes on the wealthy, and ensuring legal access to abortion nationwide.
Polling has consistently indicated that all of those positions are generally popular with the American people. There must be some concern that this strategy could blow up in President Trump's face. If that happens, what, according to your sources in the campaign, is the backup plan to defeat Vice President Harris?
They're going to keep reminding everyone that she's a woman and black.
A proven effective strategy. Good work on your first day on the job. Stay on this story and keep us informed.
Don't worry, I'll be sleeping on the sidewalk right outside the front door, so nothing will get by me.
A journalist after my own heart.
Even after my raise, I can't afford to live in New York.
Up next, should it be illegal for Democrats to tell people what's in Project 2025? I'll talk about it with Dr. Kevin Roberts, president of the Heritage Foundation, right after this.